Now, Bill, last
John
week,
21,
my
we're here, we've made it.
goodness, John 21. Now, you would have thought the gospel would have ended with the great purpose statement, these signs so that you may believe Jesus is the Son of God, but by believing you may have a life. Yeah. And then he goes on and sort of
if I was writing it, I'd kind of stop there, wouldn't it? Like you feel like that's your punchy ending, and then it kind of dribbles off, does it?
But he's ending on mission almost, or ministry, you know?
Which is interesting, because you think about all the other Gospels, they all finish on mission.
Great Commission.
Great Commission.
Luke 24 as well,
And even Mark, in his own kind of weird way, they're to go to Galilee. So there's always a sense in the Gospels that the story, it'd be very tempting to think the story is finished with Jesus' death, resurrection and ascension. But as we know, there's a whole chapter to be written, and thank heavens for that, right? Otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here reading and discussing as we are. So John in his own way is leading out, and he ties up a number of loose ends. So he ties up the story of Peter, for example. So we see Peter reinstated. There was a loose end in John's own time where there was a legend that he wouldn't die before Jesus came back. So he kind of ties that up as well.
Peter.
John.
John wouldn't die.
There was a rumour that John the disciple wouldn't die before Jesus came back, and he kind of scotches that rumour. Which is another beautiful Peter moment, of course, because he says,
what about him?
Jesus says, you're going to die. What about him? You know, as we go. But then, then John, it does have quite a good ending as well, because what it does, the last two verses, it assures you that the testimony you're reading is true. And then there's another great statement about the glory of Jesus, that there's not enough room for all that could possibly be said. Even we've just gone through 21 chapters of a lot of detailed stuff.
Absolutely.
So it really is quite satisfying.
Yes, let's finish with those last verses. Jesus did many other things, like how many is recorded.
That's right.
And they're just a little bit of what's actually recorded. Jesus did many other things as well. And if every one of them was written down, I suppose that even the whole world would not have room for the books that would be written. Isn't that extraordinary?
And in a sense, truer now than when it was written. Because Jesus is still doing things, right? He's still working in our life and still working out his plan and all the rest of it. So I'm not sure that was John's intention, but that will always remain true.
It does remind us, though, the intense, massive amount of signs and wonders that accompany Jesus' ministry.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was breathtaking, wasn't it?
No, that's right.
And against even against the backdrop of the whole Testament, it is astounding.
Oh, and the ancient world. It's interesting. As part of some study, a guy has done a study on this, and the concentration of miracles. But the really interesting thing is that most miracle workers will call on someone else to work their power through them.
Some magic spells.
Magic spells, whatever it's going to be. Jesus does this in his own right. So he is not embarrassed about saying, do this or this will happen in his own name. And it's just, he's self-conscious, God.
Well, it's been a great gospel, hasn't it? It is a great gospel, and you never get you ever get tired? I mean, how many words did you write on your PhD?
I wrote 300,000 to find the right 80. So. I mean, one of the quotes is, it's a what is it? It's a pool a child can wade in, and it's an ocean an elephant can swim in.
That's right.
So it's got that simplicity, but it's depth.
Yeah, that's right. So as you read John's gospel now, are you still in awe of Jesus?
Always.
It never tires.
Never tires. No, and you always see new things and new thoughts and all that.
I guess that makes you the elephant swimming in the ocean then.
That's right.
Bill Salier, thank you very much, brother.
Thank
on behalf of MBA, you've been a real blessing to us.
And it's been a pleasure doing this. Thank you.
Good on you. God bless.